So before I start, I just want to say, please make sure to look at your trines and your sextiles, as this is where the flow of energy is. And it could really tell you a lot about what areas may need nurturing or might get a hit from not being self-absorbent. I would also like to say that these are based on your sun, moon, and rising signs. Sun, moon, and rising. But always to go more so for the rising to see what to do, the moon to see how to feel, and the sun to see how to look at the situation. From a different perspective. On the road to 200 subscribers. I think I got like 4 more subscribers left, and then we're at 200, y'all. You know, on the way to 300, you know. And I also have Zodiac Necklace for sale down in the box below. I also do natal chart readings and synastry readings if you're interested. And this isn't mandatory, but it's always welcome. Donations as my Cash App in the description box down below. So thank you so much. Stay strong out here during this moon opposing the sun, full moon energy. Just stay safe out. Hello, welcome back to the channel. As you can see by the title, we're going to be talking about the full moon in Aries, and this is happening on October 1st. So first off, I just want to say this full moon is good for healing, as the moon will be conjunct Chiron, and it's really good for discipline and having conversation with authority or boss figure. It's good for finding our power and redirecting our energy. A couple of aspects this full moon will be making: sextiling Saturn and QUINCUNX Venus, QUINCUNX Mercury, and opposing the moon. Yes, y'all. Got my notes. You know what I'm saying? So when the moon is sextiling Saturn, this is good for making a disciplined and realistic approach to what needs to be nurtured. Very beneficial for working on personal issues around home and family. The sextile aspect is one of opportunity and harmony. These two planets have the chance to really bring out the best in one another. So our feelings and our discipline and realistic approach are in harmony with each other. But we could get sidetracked if we do not focus our energy on something that is going to benefit us long term. A lot of people are going to be acting a lot more responsible and reliable with Saturn's energy. A lot more people are going to be looking for advice from older prophets. A lot more people will be able to concentrate and get things done during the full moon in Aries. The work put in during this transit will definitely pay off once the transit is over. All in all, just remember to keep a disciplined approach, a plan, and go full on ahead towards this plan. The moon is also QUINCUNX Venus. So our emotional support, the emotional support we may be wanting or giving to others is not being reciprocated. And it's not lining with our love, values, and our self-value. There will be a lot of emotional tension as our need for relationship arises. The QUINCUNX aspect is not really knowing what to do with these two planets. These planets really don't know how to use each other. Once it evolves and grows on you, it becomes your backbone of your chart. QUINCUNX are so unpredictable. Relationships reach a critical point where something must happen to reach balance. It could range from argument to love affair. And if one partner does cheat, they run the risk of being exposed during this transit. So people is getting exposed, okay? Basically, either you and your desires, which is Aries, you know, what I want and my passion and my projects, or Libra, which is the sun. And is it, y'all? It would be the sun in Libra. So it's either your desires or your relationship desires. But it could also be your desires, or in Vedic astrology, the sun is still in Virgo. So it could be your own selfish desires and, you know, the things that you are tempted to get and tempted to do. not aligning with your work ethic, your daily routines, your daily habits, daily focus, because that's what the sixth house is about. It's about work environment, and a lot of us, our emotions are probably not aligning with that due to this aspect of moon quincunx of the Venus. So like I said, a secret affair with a coworker, relative, or partners, or maybe your relative's partner is most likely to come about. And this is a good time to face emotional traumas that we might be having towards women and feminine energy. Want to take a step back and see, why are we treating women this way? Venus is our why. It's why we love ourselves. Why love it's love. So this is definitely a good time to go back and talk to mom, talk to any womanly figures that you might think that you need to speak with, your emotional trauma and how you can heal from this. Okay, so the moon is also quincunxing Mercury, and here we have our emotions, not knowing what to do with our words and not knowing really how to communicate them. But at the same time, quincunx is so unpredictable. So this could easily amount to us communicating how we feel very well, but just in a manner that we didn't really expect to come up with or could have planned. There is a need to articulate and verbalize our feelings about what's going on inside of us. So if we are not careful and aren't articulating our words and how we feel right now, it could be very dangerous to do that right now. Very dangerous to withdraw from our emotions with the moon quincunx Mercury. With Mercury in a heavy sign like Scorpio, which is heading into Mercury retrograde, we may feel like we can't trust others, or we may be feeling very jealous right now, very envy. Either way, there's no need to control our thoughts in our mind. There will be a strong desire to talk and discuss feelings during this transit, so it could be very helpful and healing on the lighter side of things to talk about our feelings and what truly do we desire, far as our projects, our wants, and our needs. The self cannot escape itself. This is a good time to cut out what doesn't work for us mentally and physically as well. The need for communication right now is due to our fact that we need to feel like our thoughts aren't taking over us and that we are human. That's what Mercury likes to do, make thoughts come to life. Because to Mercury, bringing something out of the dark night into the limelight makes it not so bad and bright again. Please discuss your feelings. Discuss them. Now, this aspect right here is going to hit hard, okay? Sun opposing moon, okay? The moon is conjunct Chiron, okay? So we let our ego get to us, we just gonna end up wounded, emotions, feelings hurt, okay? So we really have to make sure we are stepping and treading lightly. There may also be a lot of open enemies right now as the sun is in Libra. So let's just get back to what I was trying to say. We must act to uncover and heal our feelings and fears regarding our identity. Our creativity, self-expression, and independence are a question at this time. There may be feelings of not being able to make it out on our own. But as time goes on and progresses, we will see we gain the courage to express our needs and speak up for ourselves. And for my ladies, this is a time where we will be addressing or have to come face to face with patterns we might have been creating in our life regarding men. Maybe a father figure or codependency issue. We are forced to deal with our wounded pride with sun opposing the Chiron. So it can also point to some very strong advice coming from a masculine figure. But please be careful as it points to possibly being taken advantage of to some extent. By the time this transit is over, we will all have discovered our own power. Be patient and be persistent, and don't let others' advice sway you at this time. As we all know, our experiences, our research is a lot more beneficial than someone telling us. Self-respect is what this transit is really about. We might want to rely on others to help us so much that we might want to feel like we have to prove ourselves. But this is where the real test will come. We'll feel this strong urge or need to put others first. That's the sun. The sun energy is strong, but soulfully and instinctively, like the moon, we will know that we're supposed to have chose ourselves, or maybe gone about it on our own path, in our own way. We can realize during this transit that we only need to please ourselves, and letting our character speak for itself is what truly will get us far during this time. So, what is the full moon? A full moon is the reward of the new moon. This can be a very emotional time, but it's a time of fertilization, friendships, and romance, where Aries is about self-assertion and Libra is about other people and compromising. We become very aware of our need for relationships and all that comes with maintaining them, be urging us to balance our own personal needs and the needs of others. This full moon is about standing up for our emotions. It's time to express yourself and let things out of your system. It reminds us to consider how we're honoring ourselves and our relationships. And so, what is a full moon? Well, the moon by itself represents our emotions, our soul, our inner world. The moon is our emotional instincts. When you have the sun on the opposite side of the wheel, this big, gigantic sun full of heat, it's tugging on your emotional nature. Our ego is the sun, so it's what everyone sees. But the moon is our personal. It's what's going on behind closed doors in our own little emotional world. There's this theme of reconstructing our routines, reevaluating relationships and relationship patterns and how we can change them. With Aries on the moon, there is a theme of killing the ego or with our emotions, but ultimately it leads into emotional fulfillment. This is the first full moon after the harvest moon. This means it falls on the autumn equinox, signifying a time to go hunting for winter. Very complicated moon. This is a moon where the sun and the moon are deeply connected to Pluto, planet of transformation, death, rebirth, destruction, jealousy, passion. Is so much more than we can put in words. It's the temptation in our bones. Very powerful moon for us to understand our emotional needs. So if you are in a toxic situation, this could be a time of breakup or separation. This could be a time of acknowledging that the person you are with is just too much to put up with. Maybe they're always jealous or they just don't meet your emotional needs. Now would be a great time to tend to those needs and desires. However, if single, you could discover a new relationship and feel very passionate about it. We really want to find balance between relationships and empowering ourselves. If you are dealing with a friendship or relationship that isn't really ideal, now will be the time that it gets cut out of your life. All in all, we will find our power. As long as it makes your life easier and balanced, go for it. Aries rising. This will be happening in your first house. So there might be a change of appearance, change of the people that you're seeing, change in first impressions, maybe even a change in the way we are viewing the world, as the first house pertains to the self and the physical body. Taurus rising. This is happening in your 12th house, the house of self-talk and self-undoing and your dreams and spirituality. Right now, you're really looking at what are you telling yourself and how is that going to help me in the future? How am I making myself better by saying this to myself? You might even be more inclined to spirituality right now, as this is making a full moon in this house. The house of knowing, the house of just things you can't really put into words, your fears, your anxieties that you don't really deal with. It's like the house of fog. You will no longer have rose-colored glasses on, or something might be shown to you that elevates your consciousness and transcends you, because after the 12th house we have the first house. So you really are just re-looking at what you're thinking and telling yourself, and how can you brand yourself come the Taurus new moon. Gemini rising, this is happening in your 11th house. So maybe you have a new coworker, maybe something is going on at work, or you know, you're really coming full circle with what your dreams and goals are for the future. You might have to change friends at this time, or a change of employment. Cancer rising, this is happening in your 10th house. So there may be a change in a work environment, or maybe just a change in your overall career and work ethic right now. You're really trying to build a new reputation, and really trying to figure out what reputation do you want to be known for. Leo rising, this is lighting up your 9th house. So they would really be asking you to reevaluate your path and your existence in life, and really relook your abilities to think outside of the box. The 9th house is the house of the future, things we cannot see, because it's right by the MC as well. So it's like your learning house. What did you learn when you thought outside the box, when you took that leap of faith, and how can you make that into your 10th house? Yeah, really just reevaluating the life that you want to live, and the life path that you are focusing on. A lot of revelation of spirituality as well, spiritual awakening, spiritual findings during this time. Really choosing self instead of others right now. Virgo, this will be happening in your 8th house. You will no longer want to be a bank card, or you will no longer want to have to be the burden of someone else's inability to make their own money, because the 8th house is really about taxes, sex, death, maybe some new, ding dong, maybe some new lovers, maybe some new money coming in, really big finances coming in, because Virgo's been working hard. I see y'all. Yeah, that's really what Virgo has in store. New money. You're really no longer working for anyone else. I feel like Virgo has come to the realization of who they want to be. And really in the 8th house is like, what do you plan to do with your money? What do you plan to do with your money? Really reevaluate how you're spending your money as well. How you're spending your money, and how are you spending other people's money, and where is this, what numbers are adding up. Libra, this is happening in your 7th house. So you will be reevaluating your relationships. You'll be reevaluating the company you keep, contracts signed. Really trying to understand your relationships and what you want from them. You're reevaluating where you're spreading yourself a little too thin, and you're trying to learn how to choose you at this time. Scorpio, this is happening in your 6th house. So this is your daily habits, your work, your daily environment, the routines. Reevaluating your work environment, but more so importantly, your daily habits and your daily routine, and how you're going to go about getting money. You're really putting forth the effort this time around to not over splurge and overspend, but really learn to make more money and triple the money. Sagittarius rising. This is happening in your 5th house. You're reevaluating your free time. Maybe a new lover, a refocus, or relook at romance and having fun. You could maybe get a child or lover tell you something new around this time as well. Capricorn rising. This is lighting up your 4th house. So maybe you are moving. Maybe there's a change in family or home environment, and you're really reevaluating a home routine or family issue. You could even be reevaluating your inner and outer world, as you really don't probably feel like you're putting yourself first. And right now you really want to just focus on yourself. Focus on who you want to be. Aquarius rising. Well, this is lighting up your third house. So it's lighting up your communication, your views of the world. It's lighting up your views on people and society, socializing. There's a change of being too much in your head and not really seeing the truth. Pisces rising. This is happening in your second house. So there may be a change in finances, a change in money, a change in your independence, in the way you make money. It could also be a change in resources, possessions, or relationships. And you might be also reevaluating your value and re-looking at your value and self-worth, self-respect. Okay, Pisces, stand up for yourself. I'm not really sure, but in Vedic astrology, I don't know everything about Vedic astrology, but I know that the second house is also our mouth because it's our self-value, right? So what we say out our mouth is really shows what we value. And so just be mindful of the things you say right now, as you know, we're transiting this hurtful time, but really try to be like a motivator during this time. Really push people towards their best abilities at this time. This will really come full circle for you and be beneficial within time. Okay, so I really hope that helped you guys a lot. Thank you so much for watching my videos. We are on the road to 200 subscribers. I think I got like 4 more subscribers left, and then we're at 200, y'all. On the way to 300, And I also have Zodiac Necklace for sale down in the box below. I also do natal chart readings and synastry readings if you're interested. And this isn't mandatory, but it's always welcome. Donations as my Cash App in the description box down below. So thank you so much. Stay strong out here during this moon opposing the sun, full moon energy. Just stay safe out here.